So I'm here at the Specialized Wind Tunnel with Mark Cote, Chris Yu, and we just went through a demonstration kind of to show a basic idea of what the tunnel can do. And you guys have been doing a lot of videos on the Specialized YouTube channel as of late, answering viewer questions. The obsession with body hair has been really interesting. And so I guess the question I have for you guys is, what's next? What's the next frontier in what you're trying to do in here?
Well, on the body hair side, it's shaved arms because we haven't given that to anybody yet. But I think it's past just what we're doing in normal product development and working with athletes. It's turning this into the masterful kind of simulator it can be, because all this is doing is replicating what we do in the real world. So we can close the loop between a rider's resistance, what we'd measure for wind out on the road, and basically replicate that in here. Then we can test stuff out on course, and that's one of the major long-term goals.
In building this thing was built from the ground up, and Chris, you had a huge hand in designing the thing. What did you want to do different from all the tunnels that you'd been in before?
Yeah, so that was a really cool opportunity to be able to do it from the ground up, like you were saying, and kind of fix the things that we thought were a little bit lacking in the tunnels that we use. So the three main things about this one that we really wanted to tackle were speed. So we used to go to car and airplane tunnels. That's basically the only thing you usually build a wind tunnel for. And because of that, those tunnels all ran at like 200, 300 miles an hour, which is super, super fast for bikes, kind of incredibly fast. So one of the things that we targeted here was kind of a slower speed range. So ours goes from between 10-ish to 70. So right in the sweet spot of what you would expect for cycling. The second thing is size. It's because we don't have to drive so much wind speed through there. We don't have to worry about fan power or anything like that, so we could kind of balloon out the size of the tunnel. And now we're able to fit in little mini packs. We had cabs to lead out train in here, stuff that we just wouldn't be able to fit in other tunnels, because now we have the size we can do that. And then the third thing is just all the machinery that's necessary for making super accurate measurements in a tunnel. You basically get what you get if you rent a facility. Whereas if you build it from the ground up, you can put whatever the hell you want in there. And if it needs to be fixed or upgraded, we can do it. So just being able to put all the toys that we want in here is a huge plus.
You guys have always worn a lot of hats with the company, but with so much invested in here, how much time in a week do you find yourself in the wind tunnel doing experiments and testing product and testing athletes?
Chris probably spends more time directly in here than I do. I spend a little bit, but put in perspective, before we had the wind tunnel, we spent about 100 hours a year working in wind tunnels. Last year we spent 1,200 hours. So if you average that out, it's I think more than 40 hours a week. So somewhere between the two of us, we're in here more than 5 days a week. There are a lot of weekends working with athletes.
And it's kind of like, it's cyclic. When it rains, it pours, and then you have a couple of days off where you're like, okay, we're not going back in there for a couple of days. But like in winter, when it's off season and all the athletes are lining up to come in, and maybe a product needs to be launched in the spring, it's like weekends, nights, like there's a block where you just things running constantly.
But in general, I'd say Chris is probably in here a little more than 50% of his time. And for me, yeah, probably way more than that, about 70%. For me, probably about 30% of my time.
Okay. Backtracking back to YouTube, since that's where this will be going.
Sure.
What's the weirdest question you guys have gotten? Like, what's the thing that you saw? You saw the question about the wind tunnel, and you're like, I don't know if we're going to be able to tackle that.
Yeah.
Usually the weirdest ones deal with the body. So the hair stuff was all, initially kind of weird. Now it's not so weird now that we've done it. People are always asking, does my beer belly matter? Droopy chin, I think, was one. So I don't know.
How about the most surprising result?
By far the most surprising result has been shaved legs. Shaved legs saving an average of 70 seconds over 40 kilometers for most riders. And it's mattered even on riders that don't have that much hair on the legs. So it's just a massive, massive difference. It's one of those things that we didn't study before or research because we thought it was such a small difference that we didn't think we'd be able to measure it in another facility. Additionally, we tested probably on the order of, if we were to rent time, about $100,000 to study shaved legs. So now that we have our own wind tunnel, we can waste/invest that time on whatever we want to.
Yeah, I would imagine having this at your disposal, you can try more things and be more creative with what you're doing.
I think a big piece of that is, like, let's say shaved legs, small thing that we wouldn't have noticed. I did a test the other day with an athlete. It was a crit athlete who tosses his bottle 1K to go, and he wanted to know the drag of the bottle cage. Is there a more aero or less aero bottle cage? That difference could be the difference of, could be on the order of a little bit at the line in that sprint. Those are the things that we're testing, the stuff we wouldn't have already assumed, and that's where I think we're going to find the real free speed that we don't know even exists.
And honestly, when we used to pay per hour to use a tunnel, we definitely, I mean, sorry to say, but we definitely did tell some engineers, no, that's a dumb idea. Maybe not like that, but
He did. I didn't. I always respect
but
them.
we're just like, no, we just don't have the time to do it, right? Like we can't do it. Whereas now it's like, there's really no good reason for us to say no to something when we have the time to do it. So sometimes one of those dumb ideas is actually an awesome idea.
So you heard it from these guys. Keep your dumb ideas coming, guys. Check out their YouTube channel. What's the plug? What's the channel itself?
If you go to YouTube, type in either Specialized Bicycles or the Win, W-I-N tunnel, you'll find it.
And check out Erik's Bikeboard Shop. Until next time, I'll see you guys.